So take 2 cups of lukewarm water, add 2 teaspoons of salt, dissolve it up, and set this aside. Now you're going to take 5 cups of flour. I only have all-purpose at the moment because of COVID, but use wheat or whatever. You're going to hydrate the flour and you set it aside for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, add your sourdough starter that's been sitting out for 4 hours after it's been fed and mix it all in. Try to get all that flour up, and then when you're done, just cover it with a towel and let it sit out for 24 hours. Another thing you want to do is during this 24 hours of waiting, get your hands wet. A little bit of tap water keeps your hands from sticking to the dough. But as often as you can, I like to do it once an hour. Get into that dough, pull it, tug it, fold it over, do that over and over again. That's going to create the gluten strands that are needed in the air bubbles in the bread that'll help it bake and become real nice. See, and no stickage from the dough when you use the water. On day 2, I'm just going to grab some parchment paper. This doesn't burn when it's in the oven. I can also use it as a floured surface. I'm going to generously put some flour all over it so that when I get the dough, that dough picks that up. That also adds some crust to the dough. I'm going to stretch and fold like I've been doing all along. Make sure those air pockets are distributed. And then, yeah, this is going to go directly into the Dutch oven. Now, once your oven has come up to 450 degrees, reduce it immediately to 415. Take your Dutch oven out, put your dough into it, put the lid on, and put it into the oven. As you see my layout here in the back left, you see I have a pan of water that's going to help with the crust. And then I have below it, I have a cookie sheet, and that's just basically to prevent direct heat on the bottom of the Dutch oven and keep from burning the bread. After 20 minutes or so of cooking that dough in the Dutch oven with the lid on at 415 degrees, take the lid off the Dutch oven and continue cooking it without for another 40 minutes. That water in the back pan, that steam is going to come up and hit the top of that dough and give you a nice crust. So make sure it's there, and if you need to refill some of that while you got your oven door open, do it. After 40 minutes, go ahead and open up that oven, take the Dutch oven out. Be very careful because it's hot, but use the corners of the parchment paper to pull the loaf out of your Dutch oven. Get it on a cookie rack to cool. You're going to let this cool for 30 minutes because it's going to continue to cook inside. So you don't want to skimp on that.